taken any classes or taken any vacations? Oh my goodness. I'm like, what's my name? That's awesome. We have a lot of fun stuff happening right now.
Okay, whew, I'm on. I just got an iPad, so I'm trying to learn how to work this here. Yeah, we're not doing any big vacations until the end of the year. We're going to Jamaica, but yeah.
Ooh, very
Yeah, it's
fun.
work, work, work this year.
I hear you. I hear you. There's a lot of folks who are taking some small staycations that I know, trying to
Yeah.
enjoy the summer. But it is just as fun because we have some people in the waiting room too. It's just as fun because right now we are in a little bit of a different economy than we've been in before. So, sometimes you have to mind your P's and Q's, right? So I wanted to follow up with um, our class that we had on Friday. First off, I know there's a couple of you on the call today. I believe you were on the call on Friday. Um, any feedback from the call? Anything that resonated with you? I am looking for my notes. Nothing? Nothing good resonated for that? Has anyone implemented anything?
I'm looking for my notes here. All right, sorry.
I'm trying to pull up something as we're chatting along today. So one of the things that we talked about was kind of the five, I would say like the 10 steps that what I do with my referral partners is I take it a step further. So we went into great detail on that. Easy steps, and this is what some of the master classes are, is diving deep into them. And then we kind of talk it out a little bit on our call like today to say, okay, what worked, what didn't work, what can you implement and what can't you implement. So if you want to watch the replay is up on our coaching platform. If you're not a student yet, there's always time, and then you get access to all of the recordings and all of the playbooks that we have because we have the senior launch lab happening right now to help you get into production really quick. And one of the biggest things, and you all have heard me talk about this, is making sure you're doing reviews, making sure you're doing gratitude every morning. And we're just going to stick with those two today because I feel as if when you work with partners that you like, know, and trust, and they like, know, and trust you, and then you get them on your board of directors, now you have to nurture them throughout your time with them because you can't just do a set and forget it. And you have to make sure that when you are nurturing that core group of people, what are you doing to stay in contact with them? We can't call them every 3 days and say, hey, how's the business going? Do you have anything for me? I have a referral for you. We have to keep nurturing them and stay top of mind in a friendly, easy way. And I know Paul has done a great job with teaching you all how to have these conversations and how to do a board of directors call. But now we need to make sure that we keep them on our kind of like a drip campaign, but instead of it being on a computer, it's got to be live. You have to interact with them, right? What have some of you been doing? Um, what have some of you been doing to nurture your bod right now?
Okay, I am so struggling here with this. I apologize. So Friday, I received a lead that my stepmother, her friend, she asked me if I could come over and help her with her will or how to, organize it, and if I could point her in a direction of an attorney that can help her. So that made me think of, building my bod And now I need to, because I remember Paul was saying, don't go empty-handed. So
Mm-hmm.
now that I possibly have this lead, where I can assist her, I need to look for an attorney I believe that I would interview to add them to my board or see how we could work together. Oh, she's talking to someone.
Sorry about that.
No
Um,
problem.
so now you have to get onto the next steps with them. Now remember, just like they bring you a referral, right? You're going to bring them a referral. It's not your job to get it across the finish line. It's their job. Don't put that pressure on yourself, okay? Because that's what I kind of think I'm hearing right now. You're bringing them someone who has an issue, right, that needs to get rectified. Let them do the closing of it. You're just the intro. Have you
So you're,
asked?
s- I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. Go ahead.
So you're saying like if I was to bring an attorney, a referral, right? So I obviously I would let them take it away. I would introduce and all of that, but I would need to interview the attorney first to see if business will be reciprocated
Mhm.
before I give them a lead.
Yeah. So you have
Okay,
that
yeah.
conversation with them, and however you got their name. So let's just pretend you got their name through a mutual contact, and her name was Sally. And she did a text intro or email intro, and now you're on a call with them. You're going to have a conversation with them that goes a little something like this. You come highly recommended from Sally. I'm so excited to meet you. This is what I do for work. You explain to them what you do for work. You have that conversation. Are you looking to grow your business through me, with me? Because I work with seniors. We all know about 67 to 70% of people do not have their wills and advance directives in place. And so this can be something that is very lucrative for both of us. Are you willing to assist me? And they're going to say, well, how would you like me to assist you? And you're going to say, well, do you do probate? And when you work with folks who are doing their life planning, their estate planning, if they're looking to sell their homes, is how do you cultivate that for the folks that you work with, right? So you're going to ask those questions. Ask them what their book of business is. You're going to ask them how many realtors they work with. And if they don't work with any, ask why. And sometimes it comes down to them just saying, I never asked that question. And then you're going to start that conversation. Once you get through that conversation and they say, yes, I'm willing to work with you, great. I have a lead for you. I have a referral for you. This is why. This is what we're doing, right? This is what their needs are. And I would like to ensure that you're going to have that reciprocation, and they're going to say, well, I don't have anyone for you right now. Great. The next time you do have a probate, the next time you do have someone who's looking, are you willing to work me into that conversation? You just have to ask for it. You really just have to. And the first couple are going to be really awkward. It's okay if you fumble on your words. It's okay if you have a script right next to you and you're reading off of the script. It's okay because you have to get comfortable with the words that are coming out of your mouth. And I don't want you to have fear or get paralyzed and not have the conversation at all, or just give the referral and never ask for the business, right? So it's okay to
Yep,
work
that makes
through all
sense.
of this. Yep.
Yep.
And the first couple that you have, you're going to say, oh my gosh, I totally butchered that. And then to add extra pressure, if you're one of Paul's students, he'll say, record the call so we could go over it. And then I feel that when you record your first call, it makes you even more nervous, right? So
Yep.
you have to do what you feel comfortable with, right? Especially for your first one. You have to do what you feel really comfortable with. And as you get comfortable with these conversations, it will just roll off your tongue,
Yeah.
right? And things will just start to, you're going to be like, oh, I have this, I have this, I have this. And then I always ask them, how do you want to be introduced? Is it text, email? A lot of times it's email because it's very, very hard to find your text messages as we all get like hundreds of texts, right? As I'm getting text coming through my computer right now. So it is definitely a lot easier to keep track of it that way. And then you can be able to go back to that and make sure that at the end of the day, you are sorry, I have showing requests coming through. I have 3 listings right now that are on fire. So I know it's exciting. We've had an exciting weekend. But that is something that you definitely need to really start practicing. You can have Paul join your call if you're a student, which is really helpful because he'll help you and he'll elevate you. And then you'll be able to hear how it goes really well together. The other thing
Yeah,
is
so what I'm gonna try to do is
practice makes
record. I'm gonna
perfect.
record.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna record my call to see how, to see how it goes. I call it back testing.
Yeah, and it's good. It's good for you to hear because you go, ooh, I I didn't do very well, and it's okay. You have to get comfortable. You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable, which
Yeah.
is perfectly okay. So don't make yourself feel like you need to be perfect right off the bat. This is a step in the right direction for you, and at the end of the day, you are doing the things that you are learning and implementing them and starting to see how the business flows. Now, once you're done working with this attorney and they do a great job for your client, you're going to write a review for them. You're immediately going to ask them, screenshot it, send it to them. Here's the link for my review. Would you do the same for me? You have to keep moving forward with that. And Google is doing this thing again, which I don't understand, where people write reviews and they're lost in the cloud somewhere. So I'm noticing that. I don't know if anyone else is noticing that. That happens sometimes with Google. It goes on a cycle. So don't worry about that. If they can screenshot it to you, you can ask Google you can do a help desk for them and ask them to fix it for you. So don't fret. There's always ways around it. And then you could also use that to put on your social as well. But always remember there's ways to give back to your referral partners and building that trust and building that business, because that's what I do. I'm constantly working with all of my partners. Yesterday, I just finished up a 6-week project from a mold leak and mold damage on a house, and the house looks gorgeous right now. So right now, it's time for me to write a review for this contractor who came in and went above and beyond and mopped the floor and made sure it was all beautiful going in and out of the house. So you have to remember that these simple little things make such a huge difference in someone's business. No different than when we're online for social and we're sharing some of our partners' posts or events that they're doing. And then in return, asking them, would they share our listings, our upcoming events, whatever is happening within your business? That's a positive way for them to help promote you, right? Because that's something that's very important. And it gets your reach much further than just your own social posts right now. How many of you are doing that with your partners right now on social? All right, I see a couple of hands up, which is really important. I always tell people the easiest way to help support my business is share my listings that I have, share my events that happens. It's free. Yes, Heather, go ahead.
Crisis on Friday. Friday morning, I got on Facebook, did my updates and my social touches, and then went about my life for a couple hours. Got back on to do our lunchtime check in that we all do. I was locked out. I have been locked out of Facebook. Yep, yesterday morning was the first day that they were able to get me in. The two phase or whatever authenticator. Oh yeah, girl, it's not even giving me an option other than to use the Google authenticator, which I do not have because I'm an Apple user. It's yeah. So I am going through a lot of trauma the last couple of days with my social media, and I mean, at this point, my best thing is just to ask you guys and my other resources. What advice can you guys give me to help boost my Instagram, TikTok? Because Facebook has been like I've used all of them, but
Mhm.
Facebook is really my biggest that's my biggest one. I get the most exposure because that's what I've been using. So now I am going to have to amp up my social media for everything else. Yeah, girl, I cried
So
like six
did
times
you get
yesterday.
back in? Did you get
I
back into
did.
Facebook? Okay.
I
So
did.
here's what
The
I want
bad
everyone to do. Everyone needs to do this.
yes.
I need you on your business page on Facebook.
Okay.
This is the easiest thing for you to do for this to not get locked out. Invite an admin to manage your page. It can be your friend, it can be
Okay.
your family member, it can be one of us. And it's not that you are expecting them to post to your page. It is because being locked out of your business account, and this did happen to one of my referral partners, and they were
It's my
not able to get
personal.
their page back.
It's my personal. And the only thing, so what's crazy is I can
Mm.
get on, like, I can get on my Facebook business app and I have access to my business page. But the only thing I was granted yesterday morning was access to my personal page only from my laptop. I cannot get on from an app. I cannot get on from on the web on my phone. It's been crazy, and there is absolutely no contact button for anybody. It's crazy. So I
So
know
there
this
is a
it's kind of
way.
sidetracked, but
So if you Google this, because this happened to my husband on his personal page, there is a way
oh
to
no.
get in touch with someone from Facebook. He
Okay,
was able to, he Googled it, and somehow there's some button on there where you will go on. You have to show your face along with your license, and they give
I
it
did.
back to you. Yep.
I did.
So there's a way for that. However, my husband, someone hacked him from, I want to say Vietnam. And
Oh
we
wow.
still, to this day, it's been like 2 years, we still can't get that email off his page.
Yeah. So
But
just be careful.
you just have to make sure that you do the security checks on everything. And then also, for those of you who hopefully have a business page, invite a second person to be an admin always.
So with your
Always.
business page, is actually public, right? That's why I'm so nervous about having public pages. I mean, mine is private, but yeah, that makes me nervous.
Well,
It
my
does,
business
but
page didn't get hacked. It was my personal page. And what's crazy is Friday morning I had watched the news and there was a big release about a bunch of people on Facebook whose accounts had been hacked, and they highly recommended if you use your social media, especially to make money of any sort, to go in and change your password. I
Mhm.
never do that. It is the one time I actually did it, and literally 2 hours after I went in and changed it, everything went to crap. So the good thing is, yes, it still exists. It's still me. I definitely have access to my business page. It's just I have very limited access to my personal. They are actually having to send me a code through the USPS so that I can then get on my laptop, enter it, and hopefully it will unlock everything. So yes,
Man.
just be careful, be mindful, you guys.
And that's the thing, is like, change your password. Um, when you do change your password, it does ask you if you want to sign out from all other devices. I always think that's a good thing to do, but then you might be stuck in the same point that Heather is. And I am in no way, shape, or form like a Facebook guru with that stuff because it drives me crazy. But my business pages are public. My personal page is private. But yes, Mark is right. Start gravitating to passkeys. Passwords will be going away. Passkeys are great to have, and you could set one up through your social medias as well. So that is something that I do recommend as well. And I forgot about that. That's a good point, Mark. Because right now, you just never know, and you don't want to lose all the work that you put into it. And this is not meant to stress you out. It's just to be vigilant. And if you use the same password across the board, don't do it either. So I save my passwords in a note on my phone, like in a little notepad on my phone, so that I could make sure that I have them and they're easily available for me. So I try and change them up and in the middle of a word put like a hashtag or a dollar sign or some sort of a character so that you could break it up. Like instead of an O, put an at symbol to make it a little bit harder. But I don't get why people do this. It drives me insane. At
I don't
the end
want
of
to
the
turn
day,
this into a social media class, but what is a passkey? I don't, what is that? What is a
so
passkey?
a Marco
They're
is
they're
saying,
new, and I couldn't explain to you exactly what they are, but primarily they use facial recognition and your fingerprints.
mm-hmm,
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Yeah. So the
and
next level, and technology is already starting to happen, but it hasn't pervaded the pass keys yet from a hackable standpoint because it isn't widespread enough. But facial recognition and thumbprints will be the new ID theft moving forward.
mm-hmm,
Lord. Thank you.
But it's a long ways off. But that's why if you have that, there is no password to hack.
yeah,
But the other thing is if you have a password, if you don't want to gravitate to passkeys yet, the longer your password is, the more difficult it is to hack. And so, for example, if you have 18 characters in your password, it would take something like 1 billion years for a hacker to hack that password, as long as you have mixed it up with, characters, symbols, and numbers.
yep. Yeah, and that's what you want to make sure that you try and have. It can't be something short. And not to make this into like a whole social media thing, but it's a hot topic right now, and these things happen. We want to try and avoid that as much as possible because you put a lot of effort. I mean, I do. I know, sure. I see all of y'all doing stuff too every day on your social media accounts, and that's something that's really important. You don't want to lose everything that you have, and you want to make sure you keep moving forward, which is important. Frankie, I thought you saw your hand up.
I did. I had an open house this past Sunday, and this is kind of switching gears, but it's kind
Mhm.
of it's not going towards my BOD, but I just have a question. So the open house was absolutely outstanding. It was a lot of families come through and all of that. So the thing is, all of them had an agent. But I actually still had them sign in, and the few that didn't have agents with them, they had one, they just weren't there. So my question is, like, we work with seniors, right? So
Uh-huh.
with all of these email addresses that I have, I want to actually put them in my newsletter and
Mhm.
send on a biweekly basis. That's not like stepping on toes, is it? Because I'm not pursuing
No,
that house,
no.
but
When I do my open house sign in, I actually
mhm.
state like on top of it, by giving your email, you are signing up for our newsletter, however often it
Oh,
goes.
good idea.
So then
Okay.
it covers you. But they actually gave you your email address. But I would first use it for thanks for showing up to the open house. You know what to do. I don't have to tell you.
Yeah.
Like, thanks, your thank you after your open house. And then you might want to do an opt-in to your newsletter. here, like click here to opt in, because you didn't have that. But I always cover off on like a disclaimer, like by giving our email address, you're signing up for a newsletter.
Very good. Okay, because I did have like my picture, and then I had like a little description of, who I am and what I do. So it did mention a
Mhm.
senior real estate specialist. So I had that there. So I mean, I understand the disclaimer part, and I'll do that next time. So yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's what I do. I will say that at the end of the day, everything works differently for each of us. We all take things and run with them and do it. So some's going to have say, "Oh no, I tweaked it this way." This is just, a little top line thing. You don't want to have a ton of unsubscribes from your emails that you're sending out to, because that will break up your algorithms, from my understanding. Heather, have a good day. It's nice to see you. I got to jump off too in a couple of minutes, but this is all good stuff for you, because it doesn't matter who comes to your open house. Like right now, y'all know I got a ton of listings and a ton more coming up. I'm not going to be selling all of my listings to seniors. I'm going to be selling them to anyone who is willing, able, and financially sound to buy them.
Girl,
And so
say
you
it
need
again.
to make sure, heck to the yeah, we gotta keep it moving, right? So right now, our Hometown Heroes mortgage program opens up on July 1st, and I have people stacked up for them, from coming to open houses to coming to any of my showings that I have. And I am like, okay, have you heard of this program? We have something called the SHIP program, which is similar to the Hometown Heroes program, where they give down payment assistance. I just closed um, one listing in March that they got $40,000 from the state as a down payment. So, there's all these different programs out there, and it's really important. And I know Paul's going to be talking about them a lot too, since he's in that industry. But it's really important to have a top line overview of what's out there. Talk to your lender, ask what programs are out there right now, because when you do start stacking listings up, you want to make sure that you're able to attract anyone to buy those listings and not hold on to them, because we're all in a little bit of a different market right now. We're seeing some markets like flexing and getting a little bit more exciting, and pendings, while we have others that are a screeching halt. So it just depends on where you are within the US right now, but we're seeing a huge movement in the real estate industry right now across the board. All right. But I'm excited for you all. This is exciting. We're learned today about path keys. We learned about protecting your Facebook pages, your professional pages, and your personal pages. Follow up from open houses. Man, we're just rocking and rolling. Well, I hope you all have a great day. Does anyone have one last thought before we
I have
stop?
one, yes, I have one last question. I noted that Frankie said that everybody that came in had an agent, but she's having them sign in and send her newsletter. Does she have to make that disclosure, that disclaimer about, I'm not trying to solicit your client? Or if you're already working with an agent, this is not a solicitation, to her
You
newsletter,
can
to she.
always write that on the bottom, but at the end of the day, they're there for an open house. Everyone knows the rules, right? At the end of the day, everybody knows. If you're coming in with an agent and you're here to play nice in the sandbox, but at the end of the day, you want to be able to share some of the insights that you have, and they might find something that you have on your newsletter um, really interesting, and they might
Mhm.
refer a senior to you that's looking to right size
Right,
and
right.
move into senior living. So it's not that we're here to go and poach other people's clients. It's never
Right.
about that. It's about
Right.
there's a fit for each person. And at the end of the day, when you have a ton of listings like I do, I have people call me up and say, I'm working with I'm working with an agent, but you're the listing agent, so I'd like to work with you." And I say, "I'm so glad you called me, but I am not a fan of dual agency. Please continue to work with your agent that you're already built a relationship with." And that surprises people when I say that. But I do that because here's the thing. If they have I don't know what they signed for a buyer broker with them right now. I don't have access to it. Buyers are liars. We know that. It's been a thing forever since you've been in real estate. And so I push back, and I always push them back to their agent that they're working with. The minute they say that word agent, I don't want them. I'm not here to steal your client and get both sides of the transaction and then have that agent come back to me and say, I was working with them and had a buyer broker. I want to get paid. Mm-mm. No, we need to work nice in the sandbox. And agents respect that, number one, because they respect. And then the other thing is you want to make sure that you're always working with integrity for your seller. And I put my sellers above everyone else. And I tell them all the time, if someone comes to me, I'm happy to represent them. But this is what it means to be a transactional broker and me being in the middle. And so I tell them all, I'm very, very upfront and clear with them. I don't like those situations. There was a situation like that happened up north from here. I want to say Sarasota, and the agent got sued. I don't need that. Nope. Not worth it to me. So I always want to be able to promote someone else. And I see that Mark wrote in, it's too much work to get someone to shift off another agent. Yep. And so that's where I kind of draw the line for it and just tell them, I'm just here to provide information. You never know who they might know, who is going through something like this. And this is what I specialize. And then I say to them, well, maybe we can collaborate on something coming up because this is my specialty. Is it yours? It's no different than if someone came to me and said, I need a waterfront home. I can't tell you yachts and boats. That's not me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know the different waterways. I mean, I'm in Naples. I don't know the different waterways and dredges and how big of a boat can go down this canal. Not me. I will partner with an agent who does know that, who
Yeah.
specializes.
I did the same thing yesterday. I had a call about one of my listings. It's actually under contract for like 3 weeks, and it's going to closing. So, but it was a buyer up to 350, but they were shopping in an area that's a little further away from me, and I am so heavy listings right now. I almost don't have time for buyers unless it's an ideal situation or a referral. This one was a VA loan and wouldn't move off of a VA loan. And in my market, you're dead meat in a VA loan unless you've got an agent that works those regularly. And I said, look, I'm going to do you a favor. I don't know VA loans well enough. It's been 8 years since I've written, and every time I see them cross on my listings, my sellers are like, no. So make sure you are working with a lender that specializes in VA loans. She wasn't. It had been a year since she had worked with a lender. So I said, this is a company in the area that does it. Ask them who they'd recommend because I don't have anybody in my network that I know that specializes in VA loans. So I'm not getting a referral fee on that one, but I did the right thing. And I sent her to somebody that will be able to help her. She was so appreciative of that. And when you do things that are either self-deprecating or shooting yourself in the foot and you let people know you're doing it, they love you for it and they'll remember it. And you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, you have to. In this industry right now, it's tight, it's tough. And it's
Yeah, I
the
don't want to
same
burden myself for the next 6 months writing 8 offers that are going to be, potentially losing offers.
No.
It's taking up all my time. I don't have time for it.
Yeah. And it's the same thing here. Down here, we have the waterways and then we have golf. And we have non-equity and equity golf. When it comes time to equity golf, forget it. That's not my specialty. So you have to know when to partner with people, and they really do appreciate it. Those agents do. And then that's a way for you to partner when they have a senior. They don't know what to do when someone has dementia, working with power of attorneys. And it's something that you can't just explain over the phone. This is a tough transaction sometimes to deal with. And Lord knows I have gone through a lot of these. So it's something that I'm always telling people, just partner with us and let's get through a transaction and see if it's something that you're interested in doing, because it takes a lot of heart to work with seniors. All right, my friends. Well, we went 5 minutes over. Awesome talk today. Thank you all for being here. I hope you have a fabulous Tuesday, and the last Tuesday of the month, I believe. And go and make today great. Thanks so much for being here. reach out to me if you have any questions or write on the Facebook page. Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye, everyone.
Great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.